Now I'm going to take you through the Magna Clutch System. It comes as standard in the Magna Drive Loader, but it's also available as an accessory kit that will go into a Halo B, Halo V35, Reloader B, or Empire B2 loader. The system, if you can zoom in and take a look at what we're doing with the drive here. The paddles actually move and work independently of the top of the drive cone. It's two pieces now. This means that the top piece of the drive cone can actually take all of the weight and all of the friction of the balls, or if you have a very full loader, and it'll make the weight sit on the center while the paddles move freely and independently around the outside. So even if you have a very full loader or a lot of friction because you're using something like reballs, you still get a very smooth, consistent feed. Now, if I actually make this one run, you can see that the paddles aren't moving because my finger's stopping them, but the center is still rotating and the clutch system is just allowing the drive to slip. This means that it'll never put more force on my finger, or obviously a paintball, than I set that clutch to. I can set that clutch to be as gentle or as strong as I want. So if I'm shooting a gun that has very bad ball detents, or that has a large breach, or that maybe you're shooting very fragile paint, or you're playing in cold weather, you can set up the clutch to have the minimum force required for your system. If you're only playing at 15 balls per second, you're playing the PSP, or you're playing an MPPL event at low 20 balls per second, there's no need to put enough force on the paintball to shoot in the high 30s. What you're better off doing is putting the minimum force on the balls to get the rate of fire consistency that you need, and then having it set up like that, because that'll allow you to shoot the more fragile paint, and you're less likely to have issues with your gun or with your loader. The clutch system is very easy to fine tune. What we have, and if we zoom in again and take a look at this as well, you can see here I have magnets, grab a tool, I have magnets on the inside locations, but not on the outside locations. They're just around the inside. Now, magnets on the inside create a very smooth, consistent force as they rotate. And by having more magnets, you have a stronger holding force, and by having less magnets, you have a weaker holding force. In this one here, I've actually got no magnets on the inside, I've just got them on the outside. And what this does is it has a holding force that will break loose, there we break loose, and we catch again. So you can set that to hold and then break loose at the point where it gets a little bit more force than you want on the paintballs. And you can fine tune this completely. The standard configuration, and the correct one, the standard configuration has 4 magnets on the inside and then 3 on the outside with the triangular plate, and that has a nice consistent force that just when it gets too much, lets go and then catches again. And this will work very well with the majority of circumstances, and that's why it comes as the standard configuration. If you were to shoot something like very fragile ultra evil paint, you may want to try something like this, where we have 2 magnets on the inside and then we have 4 on the outside, and in this one we're using a slightly different shaped plate we call the star plate, and this means that you have a nice holding force, but when it breaks loose it goes very free and gentle until it comes around and then catches again. And that works very well with the very fragile paint. If you're shooting recreational paint and you want to shoot 30 plus balls per second, or you're shooting reballs, then you might want to go and use something like all the magnets and make it very, very strong. The clutch system, as well as being able to be adjusted with the magnets inside, also has different shaped metal plates. I'll put them in order. Guess where the peanut is? Okay, now by having a metal plate with just 2 outside prongs, like this one, when the magnets release and then catch again, you have a full 180 degrees of rotation. So it will release and then take a while before it catches again. This one, the triangular plate, 120 degrees before release and capture. And then the star plate has the shortest duration between release and capture again. So you can completely tune the system in. The magnetic clutch system, if I open this one, comes with absolutely everything you need If we zoom in and take a look at this, please. You get all of the configuration plates. You get a brand new rip drive shaft and the rip drive wheel, so you can configure your loader to be a rip drive system. You'll get two, I'm going to move it into the camera frame. You get two springs of different forces, so you can adjust the spring tension. You also get a full set of 12 magnets. You get the magnet carrier, the clutch system spring housing, which is this one. You get the bottom drive cone, which, just like the S4 drive cone, is radiused to be as gentle on the paint as possible. You get the separate drive cone top, which takes all the friction and all the weight of the balls and makes it independent from the paddle system. And then what we also give you, just in case you want to shoot reballs or if you want it, is a direct drive system, which gives you the benefits of the split drive cone system, but gets rid of the magnetic clutch. That's for if you really want to go fast and you want to shoot reballs, something like that. If I show you a couple of different configurations in process, you'll see with this one, if we can zoom in on the center of here, hopefully you'll be able to see the clutch as it lets loose. This one is set to be very, very strong. This is a reball configuration. You'll see inside there that the paddles aren't moving, the clutch releases and catches. And that's a very strong configuration. This one allows me to wind my spring completely. There's the clutch. Okay. And then over here I have an extremely gentle setup. And this one is actually a little too gentle for real use, but it just demonstrates, and you can see the clutch release very soon. And that means I'll only have a very small amount of spring tension and a very, very low force. And that shows you the range of configurations that you can actually have with the clutch system. You can set it from being ultra, ultra gentle through to extremely hard and fast, and anything in between that you need for the way that you play paintball. Most of the time though, the standard configuration that comes as part and as standard in the gun is good to go. But if you want to tune it, you have that capability and that option.